Hello, watch enthusiasts, lovers, and nerds. TikTok Tyler's back.
With Analog Armand.
And thanks for tuning in to Govberg Watches. Today we're looking at the 40mm stainless steel Oris Divers 65, reference 733-7707-4065. You can see this watch at our Ardmore location and find out more at govbergwatches.com. Also, be sure to download our mobile app, Govberg On Time, for the latest news and horology reviews. On Armand's wrist, 17 centimeters, 6.7 inches, the Oris Divers 65 has all the signature characteristics of a vintage dive watch. It is also much smaller and slimmer than most dive pieces of the modern day, so it will feel right at home on the wrist as a daily wear. Oris's measurement of this piece is 40mm with a thickness of 13mm. The lug-to-lug measurement is just shy of 48mm. Stark contrasts are one aspect that defines the case and dial of this piece. Soft blues and grays define the dial, a matte black insert is surrounded by a shiny black rigid bezel, and the case and bracelet are completely brushed, aside from the polishing on the sides of the case. We see a diver's case that is untraditionally slim and small at 40mm. The crown is large and lacks the modern crown guards that you would see on a modern Submariner or other more modern watches. Also notice the domed sapphire crystal, which adds to the thickness of the watch, that a flat crystal wouldn't. In my eyes, the dome crystal is essential when you're doing a vintage reboot, and the added thickness isn't so much of a deal breaker for me. Diving into the dial, pun intended, we see a photo negative. What I mean by that is the outside of the numbers are lumed rather than the numbers themselves. Acting as a background to this photo negative is a soft patinaed blue with a center that's a soft matte gray. Oris names this blue color Deauville Blue, and it historically has ties not only to the 1965 era, but the 1865 era as well. These soft blue tones represent the French Deauville trend of 1965, but more amazingly showcase the 1865 blues of the French impressionist era, led by Claude Monet, and the Cliffs of Normandy found in his works. The story behind this watch is just as impressive as the watch itself. Also on the dial, we see liberally lumed hands and a lollipop second hand. As we move to the bracelet, which is a new addition to the Diver 65 collection, the vintage aspects continue, with the rivets that travel down the sides of the bracelet, but are not found on the adjustable links. The bracelet's all brushed and adds to the overall casual feel of the watch. The taper of the band is also rather liberal, and would fit a small wrist well. To close the bracelet, we see a traditional single fold-over clasp with push buttons, along with a micro adjustment, thus giving the wearer more control over the fit. Now let's talk about the heart of the watch. Covered by the vintage solid caseback with the Oris shield is the Oris movement reference 733, which is an Oris modified Sellita SW200. The watch beats at 4 Hz, or 28,800 beats an hour, and has an approximate power reserve of 38 to 42 hours. So, Analog Armand, what do you think of this piece?
You know, Tyler, I think it's great. I think the main thing about it are the colors in the dial. It's something that you don't see on dive watches, and I think it's something really special. Not to mention that this is a dive watch. It is a classic tool watch that can be used as such, and I think the combination of the two is really interesting.
This has been TikTok Tyler
and Analog Armand,
showing you the 40mm stainless steel Oris Divers 65 Deauville Blue. See it live at our Suburban Square location in Ardmore, or give us a ring at 610-664-1715 to chat watches with us.